I'm Sylvester, Cutzooworld, Ogletree. I'm an independent underground hip hop drummer in the city of Atlanta. And 2020 has empowered me as an artist and an entrepreneur in a lot of different ways. 2020 and the pandemic has really forced artists to find creative ways and creative outlets to express themselves musically and artistically. And it's forcing us to learn new skill sets that we did not have before so that we can operate and move how we need to move and continue to make a living doing what we do. Some people have had to get jobs. Some people have had to adjust from doing live shows to doing virtual shows. And you have to be really creative to make those things happen. But it's really empowering because the word for the year has definitely been pivot, P-I-V-O-T. The quicker you're able to make that adjustment to something new, the better off you are gonna be. And we all had to learn to do it on the fly because these are unprecedented times. But it's empowering to know that you can take control of your own creative outlet and expression to do the things you need to do and want to do as a creative. If you were creative before and you weren't an entrepreneur or didn't consider yourself an entrepreneur, these times force you to become an entrepreneur. That's one of the skill sets you have to learn. You have to take on the qualifications of an entrepreneur. It's hard, longer hours, more work, but the payoff is great. And that payoff is very empowering. You found that before, when you were scared to do and operate in certain lanes and avenues, that during these times you were forced to do it and you had less fear because you knew that it was sink or swim. And so it's very empowering, especially if you find yourself swimming. And so I think the biggest adjustment has been looking at the curve and the change and being prepared for it. That's where the empowerment comes from. And everyone had to do it on their own, basically with whatever support they had with their quarantine partners. Whoever you were quarantining with is who you had to work with to do what you needed to do. And so making it to the end of 2020 is empowering in itself. And as we look in this last week towards what 2021 may look like with new politics and new leaders, I would advise every artist to learn as much as you can, even if it means going on YouTube University, learn a new skill set, and so you can apply those, to your skill set that you've already mastered. Being well-rounded is never gonna be a hindrance to furthering your career. It can only be an asset. And then when you get to the point where you bring other people in those positions, you know exactly what you need from those positions. So I would advise anyone to not just focus on your main skill set, but to learn new skill sets. Education is going to be critical, and the faster you're able to take in those new ideas, approaches, and theories and activities, it'll better your craft, make you more well-rounded. And that's the advice I would give for any artist and entrepreneur. And I would also seek out other artists and entrepreneurs that are on the same wavelength and page as you, so that you all can team up and help each other. Because that net worth is definitely going to be, your network is definitely going to be your net worth in 2021. Another advice I would be is to not waste anything. Don't waste any money. Don't waste any time. And don't waste any like resources. And I think taking advantage of some of the best businesses have been built from not throwing away the scraps and figuring out ways to monetize those scraps. And you'll find that a lot of those small scraps will add up to a full meal. And I think just having a good spirit and thinking positive and hanging around positive people, being healthy, taking care of yourself, eating healthy, I think those all can be great assets, and it can do nothing but make you a better artist and entrepreneur in this day and time. I'm Sylvester Cutzooworld from Atlanta, Georgia. Cut. Let's see what that sounds like.
Hello, my name is Tasha LaRae. I am an international singer, songwriter, jewelry designer, business owner, and all-around creative person. I've been the lead female vocalist for two-time Grammy Award-winning group Arrested Development for about 12 years, and I'm also a soulful house and R&B vocalist with Quantized Recordings. As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a singer, and being from Omaha, Nebraska, little girl, I wasn't sure how exactly to get there. I didn't know what it would look like in real life. I just knew I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to travel the world and meet a lot of new people, have these wonderful experiences, etc. Fast forward, I moved down to Atlanta in my early 20s, and I start the process of discovering who I was as a woman and also as an artist. And through, the process of trial and error, I tried to write a lot of songs that sounded really, really bad. But I kept writing them, bad and all, kept recording them and getting better from one moment to the next, one stepping stone to the next. And that's how I pretty much managed my whole career so far. It's just taking one leap after the next. And some of the things that I've learned, have been very valuable lessons to me that I will carry on into 2021, but also pretty much for the rest of my life. One of the biggest things is with being a creative, and when you want to take whatever it is that you create and present it to other people, you are putting yourself in this vulnerable position. That position, it's like you tie who you are to the art that you're offering. And if someone doesn't accept your art, then it means that they're not accepting you. And if that dynamic is present, it means that there's a piece of you that isn't 100% sure of who you are. And you don't accept yourself 100%. And through your art, you're hoping to gain that acceptance from other people. So when other people don't accept it, then it feels like rejection. It feels like personal rejection. And one of the things that I had to learn for myself was I had to be okay with who I already was and embracing who I already was, all of my flaws, facing my insecurities and my fears. And I know I'm still uncovering some, but this year in 2020, I really had to figure all that stuff out. But in order to do that, it frees you from the rejection that sometimes you get from other people. The truth is who you are and what you have to offer, it ain't for everybody. You're not for everybody, and you don't want to be. You're not supposed to be. You're too special to be for everybody. And so the people that don't get you, the people that don't support you, let them be. They not for you. Them ain't your people. Them ain't the people you got to worry about. If you focus on who you are, what it is you have to offer, and you really hone in on that message, and you present that message to the best of your ability, you being the best at whatever it is that you do, then it's going to reach the people you are meant to reach. And that is going to have a lasting, powerful impact on them for the rest of their life. And it'll also branch off into the other people that they encounter. So you doing you, and knowing that you are already enough right now, who you are right in this very moment, and you already have every open door, every opportunity, and everything that you need to step forward in that door, then you go for that. And by doing that, you're also like walking in your truth. You're walking in courage, because courage is being afraid of doing some stuff, but you don't let the fear paralyze you. Like, you just move forward and you do it anyway. Like, that's one of the big lessons that I've learned for 2020. Really, because once they shut the whole world down, we couldn't do concerts. There were no more, there was no more traveling, and there also wasn't any more going to the music studio. So then it was like, okay, if, like, for me, I create music. How am I supposed to create music if I can't record in the studio? If I can't do a show? How do you do that? And this year really made me pause and look at what I was already surrounded by and realize that I had all the things I needed. I did get blessed with a business grant that allowed me to purchase some recording equipment. And with purchasing that equipment, I learned how to use it, and then I was able to continue to write music. But really, like, that whole lesson, I'm already enough. I already have everything that I need. And literally, you realize that you're the only thing that's stopping you from walking forward in the doors that are already open for you. So I want to encourage you to take inventory of what you have, express gratitude for what you already have, and see what opportunities you may have been overlooking because you kept searching for something else. And this is coming from the queen of searching for something else, okay? But, like, keep going forward in what you do. Moving into 2021, my whole, like, my vision for myself, and also my wish for other creatives, is to do more of what we love for the people we love. To push forward, keep writing, keep creating, and keep releasing, and know that the message is important. Whatever it is that your message is behind, what it is that you do, it's important, and people need to get what it is that you have to offer. So, don't allow fear to paralyze you, and don't allow your insecurities to give you a false sense of you're not enough. Like, that's not true. That's not true at all. There's a reason why you have what you have inside of you, and that needs to be seen by others, because that's going to have a positive impact on them, and then they can go on and continue to have a positive impact on everyone else. So that is my wish for you. I wish for you to keep striving for all that you want. There's a song I wrote earlier this year. It's called, or was last year, might have been last year, but the song is called Till You Get There. And the lyrics of the chorus say, keep on moving, don't stop. Everything you want is on the other side of your fears. So keep moving and don't stop. Don't stop till you get there. All right? Peace.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, God is Fire community? I'm so excited to be a part of this empowerment session. My name is Chris James. If you don't know who I am a nationally award-winning poet, part of a team called Foreign Tongues, who ranked number 2 in the world in 2014. I am a TED Talk speaker. I'm a 3-time author. I'm the owner of the House of Art Gallery, the founder of the Roots Art Connection. I'm a playwright of an award-winning play called Dear Black People, The Odds Against Us, A Love Like This. I'm a screenwriter, filmmaker. But in short, I make my living as a creative. And obviously, I'm an entrepreneur. Right. And I'm going to talk about all the things I do and why I do them, but most importantly, I'm going to talk about how they all align, right? Because I ain't just doing a whole lot of things. I ain't got a car wash and I'm doing poetry. Like, that don't make sense. So I'm going to talk about, why I do so many things that align all with one purpose here in a minute. But so to answer some of the questions, what has empowered me as an artist and as a creative in 2020? First off, I'm grateful for this year. This year, although so much has happened, it has created space, time, and opportunity, but also it's created just that extra push for me to do things that I've always wanted to do, but I've convinced myself that I didn't have time to do them, right? In March, so I'm the creator of an event called the Arkansas Theater Festival, where I brought stage plays from all around America right to Little Rock, Arkansas. And the week after that happened, March 5th through the 7th, the world shut down. And because of the coronavirus, and over $10,000 worth of my gigs all canceled or postponed on me. And as a full-time artist, that hurts. It hurt. I'm crying right now, right? It hurt. But that happening really told me, Chris, stop getting comfortable, right? Because I've been kind of riding a wave for quite some time now. I've been out here grinding, I've been out here working, and I put myself in a pretty comfortable position where I ain't have to hustle and grind so much as I used to, because what I've done in the past has kind of been paying off. But when this world shut down in March, it was like, dang, Chris, what you gonna do now? What skills you got, right? And I remembered all the things that I had already created plans for and strategized for, and just all the other value that I had offered to the world, but I had got so comfortable doing this that I just kind of put those things to the side and said I'll do them later. But this time period has inspired me and really pushed me to do all the things that I've been wanting to do. So the first thing I did right after the world shut down, I was like, I gotta make money. I gotta pay bills. I gotta feed these kids. I started doing webinars. I realized, like, man, I can't do stage plays and have people in the audience right now. I can't do poetry shows and have people in the audience right now because people are scared. People don't want to get out. I get it, right? I was one of those folks. I got a whole art gallery, right? I'm like, what can I do? Like, how can I exist and how can I make money? So I decided to do something I've been wanting to do anyway, which was to teach people how to publish their own books, right? And I tell you this, I did that webinar in April. World shut down in March. I took about 3 weeks to plan and promote it. And I tell you, I made over $1,000, y'all, that first How to Publish Your Book in 30 Days webinar, which is still available on my website at chrisjamesjourney.com. So make sure you check it out. But I realized that people were still spending money. So what I had to figure out and discover, what did I have to offer to the world that people may buy even right now, right? So I did that. But what I also realized is that I had to find people who knew more about this than I did. So I connected with some people in my community, people that I had access to, and to help me through the process. I learned also during this pandemic that it's important not to try to do everything alone, right? It's not only going to get done if I do it, right? There are other people who are also just as passionate about making things happen and executing on ideas and visions, right? So I got somebody to help me figure out how to use Zoom, to help me figure out how to create ticket links for an online webinar, how to do a presentation to present this course to my students who are participating, right? So anyway, I got help. And again, the outcome was I made money, right? I made over $1,000 to teach a 60-minute webinar, right? And I made impact, because that's the most important thing. I made impact. I helped a pretty nice sized group of people published their book within 30 days, right? So the success stories are there. So also another big thing that happened for me during the pandemic, something I would have never done before the pandemic. I participated in a pitch competition. I pitched my business and the service that I offer in a pitch competition, and guess what? I won $10,000, right? But what I learned from that pitch competition is that I have to think about how can my business scale? Like, how can it grow, right? How can it expand in ways and make more money, right? So I learned a lot during this pandemic, and ultimately I had to learn how just to be innovative and be willing to pivot, right? Be willing to make certain changes, be willing to bend so I don't break, so I won't be broke. Amen. Hallelujah. That's a word. I wish I had a choir in here, but I don't. Bend. Be willing to bend, but don't break. Be willing to change and to manipulate some of the things that you do and offer it differently than you once did. So here we go. The advice. What advice would I give to artists and creatives who are going into 2021? The advice that I would give you if it was 2019 or 2018 would, number one, be very clear about the why behind your what, right? Like, why do you do it? Like, what's the purpose behind what you're offering to the world? Like, why are you doing it, right? And if you understand like that very simple but significant question, and you have the answer to it, right, it's going to be very easy for you to articulate to your audience. So it's going to be easier for them to understand what you offer and why you offer it and why they should in turn support it, right? So understand your purpose, understand the why behind your what, and attach that to everything that you do, right? Number two, once you know that, now let's talk about branding, right? So now you know the why behind your what. So what I always teach creators about branding is how you show up to the world, right? How do people see you? How do people recognize you, right? How do people remember you? And then how do they grow to revere you, to love your brand, right? And with all of that, the secret to that is being consistent in how you offer it, how you show up. When I show up, it's Chris James with a beard, with a Poetry and Chill shirt or hoodie on. What I got on? I'm consistent. Look at that. It's like a uniform, right? My brand is my uniform. I'm Poetry and Chill with everything that I do, right? So what is your brand? Like, how do people remember you? So be very clear about that, right? What's the why behind your what, right? And what is your brand? Like, what does it stand for? Why does it stand for? Like, right? How do you show up to the world? Now, this is something I'm about to drop on you. Listen to me. People always talk about 7 streams of income. 7 streams of income. But people have misconstrued the advice, misconstrued it. That doesn't mean go start 7 different businesses, right? You selling chicken, you're doing hair, you're selling knockoff iPhones, right? Now that is how you fail in business. That's how you find yourself miserable. That's how you don't become sustainable as a business. So don't create 7 different businesses. Create one business, one service, right? And create 7 different ways to offer that to the world. All right. I'm about to break that down in a minute, but let me go back to something else. Let me break down entrepreneurship to you. As an artist, as a creative, you are an entrepreneur. You are a business. You are a product, and you are offering your service, your product, your brand to the world, right? So I want you to think about entrepreneurship like this, and this may help somebody out. I don't know who, but it may help out one person. Entrepreneurship is this. There's a problem that exists in the world. There's a problem that exists in the world. And your business, your service, what you're offering to the world is the solution to the problem, right? People got a dookie and they want to clean the dookie up. The boo-boo, bow. tissue is the product, the solution, right? So it's a lot of boo-boo in the world. We need more tissue, right? Maybe that wasn't the best analogy. I'm gonna edit that out. All right. Nah, keep it. I think it's the point is, think about the problems that exist in the world. So I want you to think about what is it that you offer to the world, whether it's art, whether it's poetry, whether it's music, whether it's dancing, whether it's cooking, motivational speaking, right? I want you to think about what is the specific problem and what is the solution that you offer and how do you offer it, right? So now that you know what you offer, right? Now it's all about how creatively can you offer it, right? Because there are 50 other people or 1,000 other people who also have a said solution to a problem in the world. So how can your solution be more creative than everybody else's? And now that's how you become competitive in your industry, in your market. All right, so now that we got that, right? Now let's go back to the 7 streams of income doing the one thing that you do. You offer one thing, right? So create one business, create 7 ways to monetize it. So if you're a hairstylist, right? Don't just do hair. Like, I just do braids, girl. No. You're limiting yourself. You're stopping your business from scaling, from ascending, from going to the top. Don't just do braids. So that's your business is hair, right? Your solution. This is your business is the solution. Your service is the solution to a problem, right? Women want to feel beautiful, right? So the solution that you offer to that is you braid hair. You also sell the products to keep the hair together, right? The shampoo or the moisturizer. You also sell the bonnets, right? You also sell the whatever. I don't know. I don't do my hair, obviously. You see my hair. The point is, what are 7 ways that you can create income with your one business, with your one solution, right? And that way, if the world shuts down again the way that it is, right? You got 6 other things that you were making money off of anyway. So you're straight, you're good, right? So a little bit about me. I started out working towards being a full-time creative in like 2010. It didn't happen until November 2013. That's when I quit my last job and I said, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, right? And I haven't done anything else since. I've only been a creative. I'm a writer. I make my living as a writer. So I'm going to explain my levels of income, right? And I do pretty well. Again, I ain't had to work for nobody. I take care of 5 kids. I own 2 properties that are paid for. My car paid for, all that, right? All off of my art, all off of my ideas, right? So I am a poet. I started out in 2010 as an open mic poet. All I did was open mics. That's what I did. I threw open mic events, band, right? So what changed it up for me is I leveled it up. I went from not just doing open mics, but throwing open mic events, right? So now I'm a poet and an event coordinator. Bam, that's 2, right? And then I learned. I saw a stage play called For Color Girls. You've seen it by Ntozake Shange. She took 21 poems and turned it into a stage play. So I said, oh, shoot, I can be a playwright. So I wrote the play, I wrote the poem, put the poems together, made a theatrical production, learned how to direct, learned how to do all that. And now I'm a playwright. So now I'm renting out theaters and I'm making thousands of dollars doing stage plays. I'm also an award-winning playwright now. At this point, won the best original script festival favorite at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival 2019. Just slight flex. And then I learned that, hey, other people want to know what I know, right? So then I started offering art education. So schools across the country, I started pitching my services. So now I go into schools and I integrate art, poetry, theater, and hip hop into classrooms. And now I'm teaching these workshops directed to students, and also I'm training educators on how to integrate arts into their classroom. Bam, I'm a teaching artist. That's 4. And then I say, you know what? Let me write a book. I'm gonna write a book. Bam, now I got 5. So now these schools who are bringing me in to teach workshops, I'm like, hey, y'all should also a part of my offering is that if you hire me to come in, you got to buy 100 books for your students as well. Instead of $15 a book, I'm giving to y'all for $11 a book, right? So bam, right? So I'm doubling. So I'm doubling that offering, right? And that's something else. Always be selling, right? Always be closing is what they say, ABC. Always be closing, right? But always be selling. Always be selling, right? So when you have a client, like I told you about the 7 streams, 7 ways to monetize it. Like how else can you upsell, right? When you go to the shoe store, right, and you buy your Nikes or whatever, right? They go also try to sell you socks, right? Shoe cleaner, shoe strings, right? And we can keep going, right? Even they figured it out. All these businesses have figured it out, right? They're upselling. So always be willing to be ready to upsell, right? If you're a poet or a singer or a musician, there's no reason you should go to a store or go do a show, and not have opportunity to upsell. You should have product, right? If I go to a show right now, I'm also number 6, product. I'm gonna have hoodies. I'm gonna have t-shirts to sell, right? It's a $40 shirt, right? So they probably booked me for $250, right? But by the time I leave, I done made an extra $300 because I done sold, 8 hoodies, right? For $40. That's $320, right? That's 6. And now I'm a screenwriter. So now I write and produce and direct movies and films. So I just recently finished my 3rd one called 21 Days the other day. And I do a lot of other stuff too. So I'm just gonna stop right there for the purpose of me telling you that I have 7 streams of income, and all of these things make me money, right? All of these things make me money, literally. All right. So that's my advice to you. All right. Don't create 7 different businesses, right, that don't align with each other. Again, everything I do goes back to the original thing that I love: poetry, writing. That's what I love. That's what absolutely feeds me every day. It feeds my soul, right? It makes me happy to write and to do work that deals with literacy and creativity and to impact people doing it. I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing that. It makes me happy, right? So don't do things that don't align with your purpose, that don't align with the ultimate impact that you want to make, right? Don't do it, because that is not success, right? And that's my thing too. Again, think about, it's not about money. Like like real deal, like I'm giving a lot of advice, I know. But it's not about the outcome, about the income all the time. Like honestly, if you love what you do enough and you're great at it, the income gonna come. So focus on the outcome, not the income. That's my advice, right? In short. But truly and absolutely love what you do and be passionate about it, everything else will come. It'll happen, I promise you. I haven't had to hustle and chase out the money and opportunity in years. It just comes to me, right? Because I mean what I do. I'm for real about it. All right. In closing, I was only supposed to give you 1 tip, but it turned 39. It just happens. I like to talk. But in closing, I read a book called Think Rich, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in the book, in every chapter, in every story that it told, it kept repeating the secret to success. And what it kept repeating is definite desire and definite purpose. It kept mentioning those 2 terms, desire and definite purpose. You have a desire, And most times you don't have a definite purpose attached to it. Let me explain that briefly. Desire is, I want to make money, right? Definite purpose is, I want to make money selling poetry and chill hoodies on the beach, only working 3 months out the year with a woman named Keisha as my wife. Definite purpose, right? I'm gonna give you another analogy. Desire is, I want to be a full-time poet. Definite purpose is, I want to be a full-time poet who makes $100,000 a year by performing on stages across the southern region of America on college campuses and high schools for Black boys who don't have a father. Definite purpose. Desire is the overall, but the definite purpose is the specifics that are attached to what you want, right? Because if you just go out here and say, I want to make a lot of money, right? You may make a lot of money, but you may be miserable because you don't have the definite purpose attached to it, right? You're just shooting in the sky and you may land anywhere, right? Definite purpose is very specific. Don't just say, hey, I want a good man in my life. You may find a good man, but he may beat on you, right? It may be a good man, but he may not just be for you. It may not be about you. He may be about a whole lot of other. He's a good man. He's just not a good man to you. A good man for you. You just said, I want a good man. You just had a desire for a good man. You did not have definite purpose attached to it, right? So don't just say you want to make a lot of money. Be specific about what you want. Be specific, right? It was a story in the book Think Rich and Grow Rich. He said, the man said, I want to work with. It was an inventor he wanted to work with. He didn't say, I want to work for him. He said, I want to work with him. I want to be in partnership with this guy. That was his definite purpose. My goal is I'm leaving my hometown and I'm going to work with this man, right? I just moved from Little Rock, Arkansas yesterday. Now I'm back in Atlanta, Georgia, not chasing after my dream, but walking with it, right? And I ain't coming here to work for nobody. I'm coming here to work with creators. Let's make it happen. That's my advice, man. I hope I offer some value to you. Yeah, I think I'll close out with a poem. It goes like this. You got a lot to smile for you. You got a lot to live for you. You got a lot to do, so you can't give up now. You got a lot to smile for you. You got a lot to live for you. You got a lot to do, so you can't give up now. So this is a poem for all the humans who ever had the nerve to question their own existence. You know, God called me and told me to tell you that he designed you in perfect on purpose. There is nothing in your mirror you should question. Your flaws are beautiful, accept them. Don't listen to what them naysayers be telling. Tell them that you ain't buying what they selling. Because what you already got is a top quality, an unvaluable commodity, came straight from the source when you were born. You were pure gold when you popped from your mother's belly. Ain't nothing you need missing. You are extraordinarily exquisite. You perfect in that picture. You hang on the walls of hearts like art. There is no need to alter your image for the rest of your days. Be bold and resilient. In the toughest of times, I want you to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Your presence is a present on Christmas. It's anticipated by many. They sit and wait on your arrival like children wait on Santa to come down the chimney. Your entrance into the room is grand. Nothing about you minuscule. You are well-rounded. 360, no degrees missing. For the rest of your days, hold your head up high as if you are on a mission, because you are. You got a purpose and you are on purpose. Don't live life like you were an accident. You are fully insured, so rest assured that your greatness is already written in stone. I saw a man who was homeless and hungry, but he was smiling from cheek to cheek. When in my opinion, he had too good reasons to complain. But his joy is a reminder that there was always a ray of sunshine somewhere. And just because you don't see it immediately, don't mean it ain't there. Sometimes you gotta open your eyes, lean in and look a little bit closer. There was always beauty in the blemishes behind the borders of the basics in the background, like a background singer with just as much gift from God as the girls and the guys in the front. And just because they shine bright don't mean you don't. Sometimes you got to realize that maybe your miracle is still baking. And you can't rush perfection. You know, God is an artist, so respect this. You are a magnificent masterpiece made in the image of the Most High. With the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, and that's magic. So why are you worrying? When you're supposed to be the child of a warrior, you got it. Everything you ever desired is already inside your heart. There is no need for a Wizard of Oz. When all you got to do is open your eyes and realize that it's always been there the entire time. Hey, thank y'all for listening to me today. My name is Chris James. I look forward to connecting with you and building with you peace and love in 2021. Don't ask for what you want. Go get it because it's already yours. It's already designed for you, baby. Peace and love. Go get it. Be great. Don't settle for good when great is an option. Peace.
Hello, everyone. I am Shaleyah. So glad to be here and sharing some of my thoughts about this year and the coming year, and also to share my music. And I'm always grateful for the opportunity to do that. As far as how 2020 has empowered me as an artist and a creative, 2020 really made me sit my behind down. It was like, shut it down, stay at home. So I really went within, really developed some things that I had been planning on working on before and didn't seem to have the time to do. All of a sudden, I had the time, right? I really had the time. Getting some of my paperwork together just as an artist. Like, for instance, I'm a member of the Recording Academy, and just making sure that all my copywriting is correct, my royalties. I'm also with the Pro ASCAP, making sure that all of my songs have been registered, things of that nature. I also released a single this year. I even wrote a book and I didn't think I could do it before this year. I was like, people have been saying, you should write a book, you have a story. You have so much information to share, not just my story, but also my passion, which is health and wellness and yoga and fitness outside of music. And it was like, you have a lot of information, but it was hard for me to see myself doing it. Well, this year I did it. I self-published an ebook entitled Meals, Microphones, and Moves, an integrative guide to how to live a healthier life. I would say that this year, 2020, has been forced evolution. I literally call 2020 forced evolution because that is what happened to me. It forced me to get some things in order, and I really wanted to be productive with the time. Now, I also, did some spiritual work, took the time to do more meditating and spiritual baths and getting organized and things of that nature. So I also did a dream diary or a dream journal. So I noticed that my dreams were just super lucid, and my dreams are usually lucid and I dream in color and all of that. And my whole life, my dreams have been intuitive, but this year the dreams have just been off the charts. So I decided, you know what, I need to start taking notes. And once I did that, I was taking notes every morning when I woke up before I lost the memory of the dream, right? And by doing that, I started to be able to easily interpret the messages that were coming through my dreams. So that was a really interesting thing that happened. 2020 has empowered me to take a hold of my business, to restructure and really refocus
and become very intentional with my finances as well. I started doing some investing this year, which I wasn't doing before. So it's just really causing me to just hone in, focus, streamline, and refine my business as an artist and creative. Because musicians, artists, we are entrepreneurs because we are creating a product. We have intellectual property, whatever your thing is, you are selling something. And when you're selling your things, you're offering your gifts. You are gifting people with the presence of your gift. And of course we can give that away. But we got to eat, so we're selling it, which means we have a business. So whether it's a sole proprietorship or it's a corporation or whatever, it's a business. And so 2020 has been empowering on many levels, spiritually, financially, mentally. It tested me in some ways because certain relationships became strained, certain relationships fell off, some developed, then fell off. Interesting year, okay? But it's been empowering because I feel like I'm so much more prepared for my future. I feel like I'm in a better position to be able to present my offerings and my gift the way I really want to do it. And so I've been able to just fully develop how I want to position myself and brand myself and present myself. Also, I became much more intentional about my workouts this year. At one point I was sharing my workouts every single day. I'm still doing the same workout regimen. I'm just not sharing that content every single day. That was a lot, but it was empowering for me and other people. A lot of people told me that they were inspired by those videos that I was sharing. A lot of people were asking me questions about what I was doing. So that was really cool. And so I've established that for those people who were watching it. And so I still do it, just not every single day as far as the posting of it. Like I said, forced evolution, which is not always comfortable, but I'm thankful. I'm grateful, and I am empowered. I am absolutely empowered, and I feel so good right now, and I'm grateful and thankful for every opportunity. So advice that I would give to other artists and creatives as we move into 2021, I would say, get your business in order, get your house in order, as they say. Get it in order because these things are becoming that much more important. I think there are going to be some changes. We're already seeing unprecedented changes globally, right? Certain things will never go back to the way that they were. And I believe we're going to start seeing that in our financial markets as well. So you want to make sure your business is tight, have your paperwork together, whatever that means for you, what type of business it is, do your taxes, things like that. Because when you want to start applying for certain things and you want access to grants, business loans, and all of those things, that has to be in place. They want to see your taxes, they want to see your income, they want to see your website. All of those things matter. So if you don't have it in place, if you're not using social media and forms of promotion, do that. Figure out who and what you are if you don't know already. Create a vision statement for every level of your life. Everything. Make a vision for it. Have your short-term goals. Okay, this is what I want to perhaps complete. This is the next project I want to complete. This is what I want to have done by the end of the year, by the end of the next 5 years, the end of the next 10 years. Start planning, right? So I say plan. Make sure your business is tight as far as your website, your what type of business you are, have your business name registered, all of that stuff. Taxes, just all of it. Just get it together. Just do it. Make your creative gifting a legitimate business. And know who you are. Know who you are and offer that. That's my advice. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. I wake up alone. Look over at my phone. First thing on my mind, as the sun begins to shine, 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 it's checking up on you, boy. You're checking on me too. Feeling so good to be loved and understood. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. I can't go a day without you in my space, enjoying your company. There's no place I'd rather be. I love checking up on you. You're checking on me too. Feeling so good to be loved and understood. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. When I fall in love, I tend to fall so hard. This feels so good, this could feel so good that I've let down my guard. I can see forever in your heart. We'll write our names together in the stars. No need to say goodbye. 'Cause we just treat each other so natural. We just treat each other so natural. We don't have to try. No need to say goodbye. We just treat each other so. We just treat each other so natural.
All right. Greetings to you. Before I get started on everything, I just want to give a special shout out to Twin Spirit. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you on behalf of God is Fire, the Empowerment Series. I'm going to call this a session because we're all just talking right now. So what I want to do is say greetings from Little Rock, Arkansas. Again, my name is Tim Anthony. On behalf of Aphrodisia Studios of Performing Arts, where I am the founder and so-called steward, right? You know why we're here, why we're talking about this whole pandemic and everything, and what's 2020 been like for working musicians such as myself. You know, as many people probably are speaking, you know, this is my livelihood. And so there is no doubt that 2020 changed the dynamics a bit. However, In every situation, I was always taught there's also a possibility. And so the possibilities I feel have been infinite. And when I say that, I mean that in times like these, this is when I believe you really have to go deep inside as an artist, as a creative person, because everyone has creative potential inside of them. So I just say you have to go to that creative space and just find what works for you to keep a sense of normalcy, we'll say. And so for me, anyone who knows me knows it's music. And I've spent the better half of 20 years of my professional career, entertaining the masses, so to speak, giving them what they want, giving them what they need. And it's been one of those things, like, how do you give a person what they need in a time like this? Or how do you know what a person needs? So, being that I can't speak for everybody, I can only speak for myself. And the first thing I needed was that peace of mind, knowing that everything is going to be all right. In the famous words of Bob Marley, right? And so I just keep focusing on day by day, like this moment right here, we're talking. That means I'm breathing. That means I'm here. I've already experienced in my family 2 relatives to succumb to the COVID-19. The first being my uncle, and that was back at the beginning. Since then, I've had an aunt that I've lost. But knowing them and knowing how they lived and what they taught me, it encourages me to just keep pushing forward. And I can only say it to the greatest extent that I can, because it's so simple to say something, but it's a lot harder to do it. But you just have to just try your best to keep it moving. Just keep it moving. So I've been fortunate in the sense that having a studio has always allowed me to help other people. And so the first thing that we did to change the situation or to adjust to the situation rather, we went from a venue that hosted events and showcased artists to another format, which part of what we're doing now, the video format. And I think, it's been a positive thing for me personally, because I know that it allows artists to still go forward in their mission and trying to entertain. And also, the blessing of it comes from the technology of having Cash App or PayPal credentials, and so you can post that underneath. So in a sense, we've been able to empower other musicians, and that makes me feel good, because everything that we do here is really for everybody. And as an artist, you wouldn't want to think about everybody as much as possible. Of course, there's you, the artist, and what do you need? And so I'm going to say to the artist, make sure that you take care of your needs. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do. Make sure if it's rest, that you're taking advantage of this time and getting more. Make sure if it's diet, that you take this time to incorporate different things, alternative looks for the ancient remedies, so to speak, ginger, turmeric, things like that. But the most important thing I could say to anybody, as a creative, is to always do your best to focus on your needs. That's one. And then the present. Because right now, I can't speak for you. I can speak for me. Right now, I've had a lot more time to reflect, and especially, the Christmas season. We're just a day or two away. And it's the perfect time to consider what 2021 may look like for you. I've already been blessed as far as I'm concerned, because today I'm here speaking to you, and that is the ultimate blessing. And so I don't know what the future holds in 21. None of us do. But what we do know is that what we have is this moment. And so cherish this moment. Cherish your intentions. Make them plain. Put it out there. You know, you can't get what you don't ask for. And so even if you are an aspiring artist and this may be the moment that you've been waiting for, maybe this is the time that you will make an investment in your creative self, whether it be music, art, any of the arts, any creative endeavor whatsoever. I just want to encourage you all to just keep going forward. Now, for me, some of the things that I do with the time that I've had was really just kind of dive into like what it is that I'm into, you know. In the Arkansas market, of course, there are many artists here who write and produce original content. But, you know, as some of you may know, this is not necessarily at this moment an original content market. And so most of us make a livelihood off of doing familiar music and pieces like that. But I just thought, you know, everybody has things that's on their mind. You know, for me, at the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't really want to think about it. It was kind of heavy. A lot of things were going on at the same time. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, I lost an uncle just at the beginning. Then it was months later when I lost my aunt. And so I want to say I love you, Aunt Gladys, Uncle James. You know, anyone who's lost a family member, a friend, a loved one, an acquaintance, you know, my heart is with you. And we're going to keep on moving forward, you know. And if we do move forward and we get one more day, we get one more moment, if you have the time to empower yourself in that moment, take full advantage. Take full advantage. I'm sitting in front of the piano, and for me, piano is the first instrument I ever fell in love with. And so I've been spending time just to get familiar again with the notes and the sounds and learning what my thoughts are. And maybe this is not for the audience at large. However, I'll share with you a little bit of what I like to do when I'm just doodling. How about that? Birds all walking around, looking from side to side, with no fear of fleeing to the skies. Everybody's gone, everybody's at home. Nobody wants to play. Fear lurks in the distance, it's just a breath away. From the corner of my eye, a car goes by, riding lonely down the street. And I see trees are blooming. The earth is still beneath my feet. Well, either they don't know or they won't tell. I just lost my Uncle James, I wish him well. He was a soldier through and through. And as for me, I'll do what I can do, giving thanks and praise to the Lord until I'm through. Peace, love, peace.
As I originate freedom, manipulating letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, constituting WORDS words. I emancipate my craft, POETRY, it's poetry. I bleed deliriously from my SOUL soul as my PEN pen slices my PAPER paper. This is my form of self-expression. WORDS words, WORDS words, WORDS words, used in metaphoric, abstract, simile, or straightforward terminology. SPEAKING, speaking, vitality, beauty, motivation, education, communication, liberation, social and civilization, spiritual, historical, mind-blowing stimulation. CREATING, creating POETRY, it's poetry using massive WORDS words, objective WORDS words to CREATE, WORK of ART. Every PIEC of art has its own humanistic, artistic, DISTI, and CT, distinct personality. No two poems are the SAME. No two BATS beats are identical. No two paintings can be MATCHED. No two SONGS songs are twins. No two dances are EQUAL equal. Even if both pieces were COMPOSED by the same ARTIST, each piece speaks for itself. Permit yourself to experience different art forms we call SELFEXPRESSION. Self-expression. Hi, my name is Tira. I'm an Emmy-nominated spoken word artist and the co-owner of Black Tea Hive. There are two questions that I've been asked to answer for my fellow creatives here. So I want to talk first about how 2020 has empowered me as an artist and an entrepreneur. Coming into 2020, it had been a really long time since I had written any poetry, and having to be still during this pandemic to stay safe, I got back to the pen and the paper, and that was a really freeing process for me. So I first like to say that 2020 has truly inspired and empowered my writing in a very vulnerable way. And I'm looking forward to taking the work that I have created during this time of recharge, this time of healing, this time of peace, and this time of bonding and gathering with my family, and my friends in a different way. In terms of my entrepreneurial journey and how 2020 has empowered that journey, I'd like to say that I actually started a new business during the pandemic, and we started that business because I pulled my daughter from work early on in spring. We didn't know what this thing was going to look like, and so I created a black dessert tea company with my daughter to give her the opportunity to learn the ropes to run a business. And it has been a very, very, very amazing journey thus far. So that is something that we will be carrying into 2021. And I would just like to say to all the creatives out there, no matter where you are in your creative journey, there is always a deeper level of creativity for you to reach. And I think it's fair to say that sometimes we are afraid as creatives to go into the depths of our creativity because we may be afraid of what other people may think about the things that we create, or we may lack confidence in our creativity. And I just want to say that, you know, while we are all different in our own way, the things that we create will be different in their own way. There is someone, there are people that need to see your work, that need to hear your work. You don't know whose life you may change through your art or through your creativity. So one of the things that I've learned on my journey of being a creative or an artist per se is that what I create is not always for me. So I had to learn to be very selfless in the process of sharing my art, because I understand that sharing art is a very vulnerable task. However, it is a vulnerable task that is necessary for us to be who we are as creatives. In 2020, I know for me, being able to create, being inspired to create, being able to see the great things that has come out in my creativity or in my art per se, based on the trauma of this year, or, you know, the sadness, the lack of being able to be social, and do the activities that I used to do to kind of break the monotony, per se, of just being able to socialize, or hang out or be around other people, right? And while I've done those things in safe spaces to a certain degree, the ability to not do it the way that I used to do it has kind of started to take a toll. And so I use my creativity in a very creative way to kind of deal with the being alone, or, you know, the not being able to go out because things are shut down. So my creativity is becoming more of something that I need. I think I've always needed it, but in 2020, I needed my creativity in a different way. It has kept me going on days, when I'm just aggravated or frustrated because I can't, go out the house and do a lot of the things that I used to be able to do, because those places in Ohio are still shut down or closing early and different things of that nature. So I think it's safe to say that, yes, selfless, because we change people's lives with our creativity. However, the first life we ever change with our creativity is our own. So be brave enough to change your own life first with your creativity, and in turn that will definitely encourage, inspire, and motivate other people however they need to be encouraged, inspired, or motivated. Art and creativity really change lives.
Hi, my name is Tonya Dyson, and I wear many hats here in my city, Memphis, Tennessee. First of all, I am the executive director of Memphis Slim Collaboratory. I am the founder and, of course, creative director of a niche marketing brand called Neo Soulville. I am the owner of a record/novelty store called Kickspins. I also am the host of a radio show called Welcome to Neo Soulville on WYXR 91.7 FM here in Memphis as well. On top of that, I am an arts advocate. I am a community advocate. I am an advocate of Blackness. I am an advocate of womanhood. I am an advocate of creative entrepreneurship. And I am an advocate of all things good. And so I get to wear these different types of hats, just in the community. And it really excites me to be able to manifest my dreams and do the things that I really love. Some of the things, I guess, some of the challenges and advantages that I did have in 2020, of course, COVID kind of put a damper on all of the plans, pretty much for everyone this year. But it did give me a chance to kind of sit back and reassess and analyze my current trajectory and my current path, and to see like what things I needed to do different. So I learned several lessons in this, and I'll kind of break those lessons down based off of each aspect of my field in each career path, we'll say. So with Slim House, first and foremost, Slim House, Memphis Slim Collaboratory, is in the beautiful Soulsville, USA neighborhood. It's right across the street from Stax Museum. Slim House is an amazing nonprofit organization, and I was blessed to actually take the helm of leadership in early 2019 as the executive director for that. And of course, Slim House is basically an artistic community center where we assist musicians wherever they are in their career path. We assist them and we give them access to much needed resources, affordable access to much needed resources like rehearsal space, studio time. We also provide workshops and seminars, so the educational aspect is there. But the biggest thing, of course, is the collaboration. And of course, we're named Memphis Slim Collaboratory. And collaboratory is a made-up word. Hopefully it'll be added into the dictionary soon. But it's collaboration laboratory. And so we wanted to see how musicians could create and what they create. What they could create and the possibilities, which are endless, once you really think about the concept, what they could create when put into the space of being near another artist that they normally would not get a chance to interact with. So what would a rapper do when they have access to someone who plays the cello or who plays the violin or strings from a classical, organization? Or what would a producer do when he had access to singers? Or what would a choir do when they had access to secular songwriters who can give a unique spin and a different perspective on a particular song that, that needs a worldly approach or a worldly appeal in that sense? And so taking what we've learned that, of course, Slim House is just an amazing mechanism that really is just divinely created, and it's really helped to bridge this gap here in Memphis music. And so we're seeing a lot of wonderful projects come out of that. So some of the, hard parts, I guess, was 2020, the music industry basically fell apart. So no touring, no live events, no, a lot of different things that musicians generally thrive on. And so our biggest part was, again, assisting those musicians during this time and helping them to transition into this new way of doing things. And so we had been doing all of these workshops and seminars on touring and merchandise and all this stuff, and all of that stuff essentially came to a halt. So one of our biggest things, again, was to pivot and to help the artists catch up to the now. So we shifted and moved into grant applications and applying for this funding and, different, of course, COVID funding for musicians that was there as a business applying for this. And so we really shifted from some of that touring and just really hands-on live entertainment or artisty stuff, in a sense, to how to survive in the now. How do we navigate COVID? And so we were able to shift in that as an entrepreneur, working with Neo Soulville, working with Kickspins. The two biggest things, of course, Kickspin's business model was structured around being able to have these pop-ups in hotels and being able to develop this brand, which was the Memphis Soul brand, which you do see me have on right now, having those as pop-ups in the hotel. And so, of course, my whole thinking around that had to shift. Once the hotel industry basically shuttered, not only did they not have enough money to stock their gift shops with my merchandise, they were barely staying afloat themselves. So really trying to pivot and, of course, make sure that the brand itself and the store shifted. So fortunately, I was able to operate a record store that is typically very hands-on and was able to shift that digitally overnight. I literally stayed up all night and built a website on Shopify for the store, including cataloging every single last vinyl record in the store and keeping that updated to make sure that people can do virtual shopping and can virtually dig in the crates, in a sense, so they can get that. And so between that and then, of course, between Neo Soulville, what we did was, again, shift from live entertainment to really being able to support a lot of the artists that were going virtual. So instead of hosting a lot of concerts ourselves, we went into a more informative and more of our initial role when Neo Soulville was first created way back when in 2007. That was a long time ago. In 2007. And that's really informing the community. So we really became a mouthpiece for a lot of those artists who were taking it upon themselves to kind of do these virtual concerts and kind of thrust themselves into this virtual experience. And we were helping to provide the support marketing wise to make sure that we got the word out. And again, going back to our grassroots, going back to our origins, and how Neo Soulville was founded. And as a artist myself, I was actually able to pivot in a very special way that I did not think that I would be able to maneuver. And that was, of course, going into the virtual sphere of being able to participate in different concerts and different things like that. So I actually got booked for a lot more things this year than I normally would have. And it allowed me to be in multiple spaces at one time because I was able to sing at an award show or sing at a wedding or do this and do that. And I was able to actually get with a pianist or get with a keyboardist or a guitarist and record multiple songs. And then I can send a video of one song here and a video of two songs here. And it allowed me to actually be in multiple spaces at one time and actually make more money than I typically would have in a normal year of having to transport equipment and manage a staff, basically the band and all of that stuff, and getting them. So I was able to function this year, believe it or not. And it took a little bit of shifting. It took a little bit of change in mentality on my part, and willingness to let go of what I normally did, because I realized the hard part was realizing that this is not normal. We're not in a normal phase. We're not in anything normal. So I can't maintain those normal ways of doing things. I can't maintain that normal mentality of how I would, do things. I had to let it all go and basically start over from scratch. And me being a diehard textbook Aquarius, like, this is where I thrive. Like, as far as off the wall thinking, out of the box thinking, the stuff that normally would get said, no to, where you just kind of, people are like, okay, well, just forget it. We have to figure out a new way. This is where I thrive the most. And so this is where I was able to kick in and really do a lot of the great stuff that, that I really wanted to do. And like I said, as a singer-songwriter, I was able to do a lot. And because I was not running and being so active with all of the other hats that I told you about, I was able to sit down and actually write a lot more. And I spent a lot of time really kind of documenting a lot of my experience of 2020 through song. And really getting that out. So looking forward to 2021. I'm looking forward to finally putting out this new project, because I actually got a chance to really sit down with it and do the work that I needed to do. And the biggest part about, I guess, my hesitance in putting out a new album really was, it's so personal. It's laden with so many private experiences that only me, God, and maybe a few close friends knew about, that I wasn't sure if I was ready to share that with the world, or have the world really know that part of me. And so 2020 taught me how to let go of good and the bad. And so that's one of the good things. I was able to let go of those hangups and those insecurities about, releasing something so personal, since I'm such a private person, that I was able to, move into 2021 and think ahead. And it's like, okay, I got to get this music off of me, because the one thing I don't want to do is die, or something happen to me to where I have these songs in me that no one else can hear, no one else can relate to. And so really looking at it in that frame. Going forward, of course, with Slim House, we were able to make huge expansions with a lot of different stuff. With that, we were able to purchase a property behind us. So now we're able to actually expand our outdoor performance space. The property that we just retrieved, acquired rather, is a little bit shy of 15,000 square feet. So we can increase our offering, especially going into 2021, where, COVID is still pending. We don't really know what's going on with that. We do have it established that it is aerosol based. So indoors is not the best concept. So this kind of was perfect timing for us to be able to acquire this space to expand our outdoor performance space and to create an amphitheater right in the Soulsville neighborhood, which is a Black neighborhood, which is technically the hood. So imagine having a really awesome performance space, amphitheater in the hood. That excites me so much, because Soulsville is typically a neighborhood, of course, that it for Stacks, it for High Records, it for all of this music, but it's generally an impoverished neighborhood that has a lot of troubles, a lot of crime and different things like that. That's latent. And we actually hear that in a lot of the songs, because the thing that we see, that the hood is documented perfectly by the music that is created from the living that takes place there. And a lot of people, of course, glorify the songs and push those songs. But then when it comes to dealing with the ailments that created those songs and the scenarios and the environment that lent to that song, no one wants to really deal with that, and it kind of gets pushed to the back burner, because it's all inconvenient when you think, in the larger scale, it's like, I don't want to deal with crime, I don't want to deal with all this other stuff, but I'll take that song because it's nice, it's a bop. And so really trying to reverse that and just shine a spotlight on the neighborhood that's contributed so much to the world. So in 2021, just looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to expanding Kick Spins, looking forward to expanding the Memphis Soul brand, and most importantly, looking forward to expanding myself as an artist and feeling secure in moving forward with that. So having said all of that, I'm really excited, about what 2020 has brought, good and the bad, and I'm excited about what's ahead, because I'm alive, I'm healthy, and I am charged, positively charged, and ready to go forth. And that's a lot more than a lot of people can say. So because I am healthy and because I can get these things done, I feel compelled and I feel it is my duty to move forward and move positively and progressively and doing as much as I can, not only for myself, but for the neighborhood that I serve and for the artists, that the organizations and the businesses that I work for, that we serve as well. So just looking forward to, doing more good things and to really being a mirror and reflecting the light that God has lit in me. And that's what 2021 is about for me. So what I want to do is close with a song. One of my favorite songs. It's a song by Liz Wright. And I'm hoping I don't botch up the words as I typically do. But I want to sing this song, and hopefully it'll be an influence for those who are watching this, those who are listening and and looking at this. And hopefully this can be motivation for you to close out this year in a positive way and to begin 2021 in the way that you want it to, because this is your book, this is your page, this is your chapter, and it's written according to how you want it to be written. So remember that you are the author. You are the author of your life. So you can always write a happy ending whenever you feel like you deserve that happy ending. So here's the song. Never be afraid to love. Never be afraid to just be. Cast away your chains of doubt. Have the courage to be free. Don't cloud your eyes with others' lies. See only what you wanna see. Duplicate this simple truth. Have the courage to be free. Open your eyes. You can fly. Open your eyes. You can fly. You can fly. You can fly. Oh, 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 yeah. Yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Yeah. Oh, never be afraid to love. Oh, never be afraid to love. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah, oh, oh, and there it is, y'all. So we're going to end 2020 positively on a good note, regardless of what's happened. You made it. If you're looking at this, you have made it. You made it through. So all you have to do is do the follow through. In 2021, we're going to step into it, step into all of the blessings that you deserve, all of the greatness, all of just everything that you've worked so hard and built towards. You're going to step into it and you're going to get it. And it is going to be yours because it's already yours. It started out as yours. And all you have to do is reach out and grab it. So be beautiful and stay beautiful.
Jameelah, singer, songwriter, host, voiceover artist, and actor. How did 2020 empower me as an artist and entrepreneur? I will say that it allowed me to find the joy in my artistry again, because I think that I was so busy all the time, I started to lose my joy. And that's because I was just doing way too much. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was always working on a project, always doing something over here, always working. First of all, I was spreading myself so thin. To be completely transparent, I was not able to show up as my best self in any of those spaces. So being able to slow down really helped me to realize that. And going forward, when we get back to normal, whatever that means, I will say no to some things, right? And so that I can give my full self to anything that I'm working on. 2020 slowed all our asses down, didn't it? Wait a minute, can I cuss? I'm gonna watch my mouth. So 2020 slowed all of us down, and being able to slow down, it really helped me to just do things that I really enjoy doing, like listening to music for hours. In fact, my cousin and I, during the pandemic, we would have these virtual jam sessions where we would be on FaceTime singing and carrying on and sending music back and forth to each other. And I would also do that with my dad. I'd call him and I'm like, you remember this song? So that just made it fun for me again. And also just being able to read a lot, draw, write, watch films, all of those things help to get my creative juices flowing. So I found fun in it again. I realized that my last acting project was maybe 2015. And so I really got a desire to get back to doing that again. So yes, 2020 really helped me to find my joy again. So 2020 was also a year of growth and self-reflection. I was very intentional about focusing on my mental wellness. So a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of writing in my journal, a lot of nurturing the relationships that are important to me, letting some relationships that were not healthy go. Also talking to my therapist, Lord Jesus, thank God for therapists. So 2020 was definitely empowering in that way as well. What advice do I have for artists and entrepreneurs in 2021? Don't be afraid to take risks. If something doesn't work, throw it away, take what did work and keep it moving. And in that same vein, I would also say, don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Be able to take constructive criticism, but consider the source. Amen? If you can, find a mentor, or at least follow people on social media that you are inspired by. Put them in your priorities so that you can see what they're doing, learn from them as best as you can, but also know that what works for them may not work for you. There's no one size fits all in the life of a creative. So but it's very important for you to surround yourself, even if it's virtually, with people who inspire you. But also be very careful about trying to compare yourself to anyone, even the people that you admire. There is only one you, and what you bring is special and unique. So believe in that, okay? Prioritize your passion. As we go into 2021, things are going to start opening up. Some of you are going to start going back to work and all of that. Just make sure you don't fall in the trap of not putting your energy into your craft. Make time for that. Honey, you are not going to be for everybody, so do not try to sit at every table. In fact, set your own table, and I promise you, your tribe will come, your supporters will come, so stop worrying about the people who are not supporting you, okay? Some competition is healthy, but there is enough out there for everybody, so don't waste too much time and energy worrying about what the next person is doing, all right? And that's all the advice I have for you. Now go forth and prosper, children. No. Dream of a land my soul is from. I hear a hand stroke on a drum. Shades of delight, cocoa you, rich as the night. Afro blue. Elegant boy, beautiful girl, dancing for joy, elegant world, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Two lovers come face to face in undulating grace. They'll dance and steal away to some secluded place. Shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. So I wrote this song prior to the pandemic, but I used to sing it to myself constantly, and it goes, today I woke up feeling like springtime, creative, elevated, and brand new. Today I'm choosing happiness despite my circumstances, 'cause I trust that spirit guides to help me through. And I used to have to sing that to myself because literally I did not know what tomorrow would bring, but I had to trust in the spirit world that everything was going to be all right. So that's what I'm going to leave you with too. Trust in your higher power and just keep moving.
Hello, I am Twin Spirit, international jazz soul artist, the founder and director of Art House Alive, and the head witch in charge here at AfroBohoVibes.com. And I'm super excited to be included and a part of the Goddess Fire Empowerment Sessions today. I love that we're opening up some beautiful dialogue and having the opportunity as artists and creatives and entrepreneurs to kind of share what our experience has been during the pandemic this year. 2020 has been a year full of lots of changes and lots of challenges. Some of those changes actually have been positive ones, and some of them have been very, very uncomfortable, if I'm very honest. The situations this year have absolutely challenged me as a person, as a human, as a creative, as an artist, and also challenged me as a founder and a leader. It forced me to dig really deep to kind of look at and explore where my current business models were super strong and the areas in which I was resilient and my organizations were resilient. But it also forced me to look at the areas where there were gaps or areas that were a little bit weak, and I hadn't noticed it because we hadn't been forced to do business the way that we have this year in 2020. So the first question that's been posed to me is, how has 2020 impacted me as an artist and as an entrepreneur? I can absolutely say that as an artist, it absolutely forced me to get back to the basics of why I do what I do. So as a singer, songwriter, musician, and musical creative, everything was shut down. Our lifeblood, as far as getting out to perform at concerts and tours, live music venues, festivals, that was completely shut down. And, you know, you can totally look at it, you know, from the just the financial perspective, but as a creative, the art that I create is not only something that I do, it's part of who I am. So it really did impact me emotionally in very big ways. It took away a part of how I creatively express and how I connect, how I share my heart and my mind and my soul with the world. It silenced that voice that I utilize to work through my personal struggles and challenges. Music for me is therapy. It's that place, really the only place that I feel in the world that I have the opportunity to completely break down, to completely be vulnerable and not have my entire world stuttered or fallen apart. Truthfully, I am responsible for lots of people. I'm responsible for lots of projects, and although I love my life and the things that I do, just the human component sometimes realizes that being the strong one all the time is exhausting. So 2020, like I said, definitely pushed me into exploring emotionally how I'd been feeling, carrying so much weight, like I said, as an artist, as a leader of organizations, as a mentor. And it really gave me the chance to kind of unpack some of those things that, when we're busy moving and shaking, that we don't really have time to unpack. So I'm going to actually start right there. 2020 for me has given me the opportunity to slow all the way down and do some self-care, mentally, emotionally, really being forced to spend time alone for extended periods of time forces you to dig into those spaces within you that you can easily push to the side, when you're busy living and doing. And 2020 absolutely inspired me to spend more time just being open with myself, being free to just really let things fall apart. And it was scary. It was a scary time because when things are collapsing around you, you just don't know what the future holds. And so for many of us, that inspired, I would say, a spirit of uncertainty. And that uncertainty then poured into fear, fear of the unknown, fear of not knowing financially where our next bit of income was coming as an artist, when all of the live music venues and things were completely shut down and we had stay-at-home orders. There was no way for us to get out and honor the contracts and commitments that we'd already created, and then also to kind of generate new opportunities to grow our income stream. So that was emotionally challenging. It really, really was. And it does, like I said, kind of force you to go into a very vulnerable place and dig a little deeper than sometimes we are comfortable doing. So 2020, first of all, for me, bust open a bubble of emotions and of thoughts that I think I knew they were always there, but I kind of had to deal with them. Really, it's just like dealing with myself. Having the moments of quiet and a empty schedule, no tasks that had to be completed immediately in that moment, gave me the chance to purge and cleanse and purify my heart, mind, and soul of things that, I've had the chance to ignore by being so busy. So 2020 was a place and a space for me to just open up and address some of the things that I had inside internally, and then also to let some of that stuff go, because the world as we know it, the world as I've always known it, was no longer the same. So some of those modalities that I had before, they weren't really beneficial anymore, and it was just time to let them go. So first of all, that was one of the biggest things that 2020 brought for me, was just opening up those internal boxes and doing some internal housekeeping and house cleaning and kind of purging myself of things that I carry around for so long in all of these bags because I've just always had to. The second thing I would say that 2020 really did for me as a leader and a founder and a director of, multiple organizations, is it truthfully did force me to visit and explore the areas that, our business models were strong, but even more so the areas where there were gaps or weaknesses. I never really thought about how much my business model depended on me physically being able to get out and connect with clients, to connect with fans, to execute the things that I do. And 2020, with all of the, like I said, closures and cancellations of businesses and really just people being afraid to get out and connect and socialize for good reason, forced me to have to really get creative and decide how I wanted to move forward. And I think the word of the day for 2020 was pivot. If I didn't hear the word pivot anymore, I think I would have been okay. But it was absolutely something that all of us had to do. We had to dig a little bit deeper to decide what parts of our businesses we were going to be able to take forward, and how we were going to be able to execute those in a way that didn't always require us to be face to face or in the same space with one another. And I'm a techie. I love technology, but I can honestly say I'm so grateful for all of the technological advances that we have right now in the world, because all of this technology has allowed me to continue to connect with my customers. It gave me the opportunity to reinvent some of my strategies as far as continuing to grow the business and move forward. And more than anything, I think my favorite part of the technology is we were still able to connect. And I'm going to tell you what, oh boy, 2020, if you did not realize how important your human connections were, this year has brought that to the forefront. I think it's so interesting that 2020 in relation to vision is like complete clarity, seeing things clearly and perfectly. And 2020 has definitely been that for so many of us. It kind of forced us to really look at the things that were important to us from a relationship aspect, important to us from a creative and artistic aspect, and then also important to us as it relates to our businesses and being entrepreneurs or artrepreneurs, as I like to call it. But this time has required that we reinvent ourselves and we reinvent how we choose to move forward, and if we choose to move forward in the current vein that we're in. So those are two areas that I can say that, 2020 definitely has made a large impact on me. And, kind of moving forward and thinking about 2021, if I had to make some suggestions on things that people can do to kind of transition out of the challenges and growth opportunities of 2020 into the possibilities of 2021, I would say be fearless. I tell you what, 2020 let me know that I am fully resilient, that I have the power to readjust, redirect, and refocus on a dime. It was actually amazing. It helped us tap into those parts of ourselves that we may or may not have been utilizing. And yeah, I think 2021 is really going to be about focusing on what's important to you as a human being, because we all come here with our personal purposes and agendas and platforms and things that matter to us. And I think it's important that we spend more time doing what we love to do, what we like to do, what matters to us, and spend less time just chasing dollars. Now, don't get me wrong. I love making money, y'all. It allows me to live comfortably. It allows me to look out and take care of and support family and friends and others who have ideas and dreams. It gives me options. But at the end of the day, because time is not forever, and tomorrow is not guaranteed, 2020 definitely made me realize that I want to spend my time doing those things that are important to me, those things that matter to me. Not to be morbid, but if I was not here tomorrow, I would have wanted to ensure that whatever I spent my time doing was time well spent with people that I care about, on projects that I care about, doing things that I care about. 2021 for me is going to be about laser focused attention and intentions on living a life that resonates with the heart and soul of who I am as a person, as an artist, and spending my time doing things that I love, making impacts in spaces and places that matter to me, spending time physically with the people that are important to me. Relationships are ultimately the number one priority, I would say, that I'm taking out of 2020 into 2021. And then gratitude for what you do have, and realizing that really everything that we need, we've always had all along. And then lastly, just growth and forward movement. No more time for stagnation. I've definitely used 2020 as a time to kind of hide in my bubble, and just kind of do some internal searching and some internal exploring to figure out honestly who I am and who I want to be. And it's been very liberating, if I'm honest. Change can be scary, and the unknown, not knowing what may be coming around the corner can throw you for a loop sometimes, but it can also allow you to tap into those spaces that you just don't have to usually. And those reservoirs of tenacity and strength and creativity and, oh my God, honestly, I think I feel more powerful now than I ever have in my whole life. Thus the reason I went ahead and launched Afro Boho Vibes. Afro Boho Vibes, what do we sell? We sell love and magic. Love for yourself, love for your community, love for those in your space and in this world. And then magic being our power to change, our power to create the world and lives that we desire. We are powerful beings, and even though things have been tumultuous, we are resilient, and we're beautiful, and we're strong, and we're able to take nothing and turn it into something amazing. So yes, going into 2021 as an artist and as a creative, I challenge all of you to be fearless in your pursuits of the things you desire. Don't let the things that held you back up until this point hold you back any longer, because the truth is, we don't know when our last moment here is. So I say, if we're going to live life to the fullest, as they say, live out loud, go forward. And the community is strong here. You don't have to do this by yourself. That's the other thing that 2020 brought forward for me, is that truthfully, if we're all wanting to grow and evolve, we have to do it together. As a collective, as a community, it's only one planet here. We're all here together, and we all have to work together to accomplish the things that we desire. And in order to do that, there has to be patience. There has to be respect. There has to be appreciation. There has to be just support. We have to recognize that each and every one of us is on our own journey. And although I may not fully understand your journey, I can respect your right to navigate that journey the best that you can. So those would be, I would say, my biggest takeaways from 2020. And I inspire each and every one of you to go for your dreams. I know you hear that a lot. Go for it, whatever it is. Tell your stories. Share your experiences, because there's someone out there that can absolutely benefit from what you have to say, what you create, the services that you bring. If nothing else, 2020 has shown me that we are all here to inspire one another to grow and to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, whatever that looks like to each of us. There's no one right path. There's no one right way to live, to do, to be, to create, to express. So be fearless. Be fearless. Be fearless. You are full of so much potential, and you are full of so much magic, and you can do anything that your heart desires if you truly believe that you can, and you're willing to execute and do the work necessary to get to that place in space. So I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite forms of self-expression, which is words and music. And I've had the chance to really write these last few months, and I hadn't been doing that. I hadn't done that in a long time, if I'm honest. I hadn't really even created a lot of new music because I've been so busy moving about and doing the operational part of things that I think I've neglected the creative part of myself. But she's back, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. And here we go. Freedom, 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 freedom is all I need. Free to live my life, authentically being who I desire, soaring higher and higher, inspiring souls, setting them on fire. Not worried about what the world thinks I should be, just living free and being me. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Oh, freedom, 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 freedom. That's all my soul really wants and needs. Freedom. Let your freedom ring. Let your freedom ring. Let your freedom ring. Freedom, 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 freedom is all that we need to achieve. Just be free. I just wanna be free. Oh, my soul just needs freedom, 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 freedom to breathe. Thank you guys. I've enjoyed my time with you. I am Twin Spirit, and you can connect with me at www.iamtwinspirit.com or www.arthousealive.com. And last but not least, if you want to get in touch with your magic, visit me at www.afrobohovibes.com. Find your freedom. Live fearlessly.
Greetings. My name is Ozara Odé, and I am honored to be a part of this Art House Live event where we will share as artists and entrepreneurs our journey through 2020. 2020 has been an inspiration in some of the oddest ways for me to become a better businesswoman when it comes to my art and to actually finally complete a business plan and to relaunch my business, Elevated Places, LLC. 2020 brought things out that I believe only this year could have brought out. It brought out the ability to focus, patience, more meditation, the ability to listen to my internal voice, listen to people who have been trying to guide me along the way. I remember being told forever to write things down, journal, and do all of those things. And I was looking back at one of my books, May 2018. I wrote down, have a virtual concert series. I don't think I thought anything else about it, just in passing. But 2020 brought about an opportunity, brought about a necessity to truly delve into the art of performing concerts live. And I developed Ebb Indie Flow live streaming concert series. Our first series will take place in 2021, and it will be a monthly series that will host artists from all over the world, where we will share our artistry. 2020 allowed that. 2020 made that happen because, like many artists, the majority of venues, the majority of opportunities, touring, anything that we had planned for 2020 was either completely halted or slowed down to such a snail's pace that it was evident that something else had to take place. Everything happens for a reason. And even in the midst of what appears to be the world gone mad, there's the opportunity to bring out in us what was there all along and just needed a little push. One of my favorite sayings that I would tell my children and then tell myself after I shared it with a young lady who was going through some problems, that everything was blocking her. Every time she started something, something would happen. Every time she would want to do something, something else would get in the way. And I said, you need to perhaps focus on your purpose and not your distractions. And I was like, whew. As soon as it came out, I was like, I need to write this down. I'm sure I'm going to need that at a later date. And I've needed it many, many times because distractions will come. Life will happen. And then what do? Focus on your purpose and not your distractions. And so in 2020, I got laid off, and that was a blessing because it opened up time. It opened up time that I normally wouldn't have to truly focus on my business and to truly concentrate on the things that were most important to me. I was able to reach out to artists all over the world, and they were on board, musicians on board. Why was everyone on board? A lot of it had to do because we all had time. We had time to recognize a new way, a new opportunity. And it wasn't so much new, it was just an opportunity for us to take advantage of this new way. And so we went ahead and I gathered up 5 or 6 different people who believed in what I was doing, and we were able to come up with a platform. And this platform, it's my baby. It's my baby. They didn't know exactly what I was doing. They weren't in the music world, so to speak. Some were in theater, some are IT, They just saw what I was doing, and they saw the amount of work that I'd already put in, and they wanted to be a part of it. And so I would just say with 2020, we had to be willing to go above and beyond what we normally would do under other circumstances. A business plan. It's very difficult to be a part of show business and not have your business plan in order. A lot of times we move out on our passion, we move out on emotion, we move out because we have this feeling. And those things are beautiful. I do it all the time. But when we want to be more successful in elevating the whatever it is, if it's a book of poetry, if it's a new album, if it's a t-shirt line, if it's a jewelry line, whatever it is, if it's opening up a school, whatever you're trying to do, a business plan is going to help you map out so that you can clearly see which direction you're trying to go and how to get there. And it also helps people who want to be a part of what you're doing understand better what you're doing and to see how they can fit in. You understand? And so I was so excited because I'd said for years I was going to do a business plan, get one done. But 2020 allowed that to happen. And I can look at the business plan and see where I need to step up to the plate, what's going well, what I may need to adjust, It could come from the budget. It could come from, did I make it expand the platform too broad? Is the projects that I want to do, are they too broad? Are they too much? Is it too soon? Should I mic things down? Should I, expand? And so, yes, 2020 has definitely been a year of a vision, of clarity. It's been a year of loss for many, including myself. It's been a year of breakthroughs. It has been a year unlike many or most that we've experienced. But we are grateful to still be here. I know I am. I am grateful to have been a part of a time unlike any other, where everything that was apparently normal wasn't normal anymore. And we created the term or the phrase new normal. I would just like to see us as exploring our different opportunities. Because just like any change, when there was an industrial revolution and people were used to working in the farms, and then there was an industrial revolution, and then we went from having a lot of factories to more desk work and computer work, and now we're going from being in an office or being around a bunch of people to going virtual. And so everything in the universe evolves and changes. It's up to us on how we receive it and then how we move through it. And we can work through it. We're working through it right now. We're figuring it out. And we're figuring it out together. I just wanted to say this as far as creatives who are doing their music. It's so important, of course, that you cover all of your bases, cover your copyright, your performing rights organization, that's CSEG, BMI, or ASCAP, to make sure you have your, you're going to go to DistroKid, if you're going to do CD Baby, Bandcamp. Just have your stuff in order. But before you even write a single line or before you record a single song, have a plan, because it's going to take marketing. It's going to take a publicist possibly. It's going to take more than just yourself posting it and letting everyone know that it's there in order for you to make some noise in this industry. People are doing it. We just have to figure out how to do it better than we've been doing it in the past. And if we've been successful in the past, how to even exceed and excel beyond what we've done in the past. I did take a few notes because I did want to make sure I said build up your email list. I was told that forever. Build up your email list, build it up. But it makes a difference when you have a project, when you have an event, be it virtual or in person. If you have something that you're going to sell, the stronger your email list, the better your sales will be. So just cover yourself, rest your mind, raise your frequency, listen to different frequencies that resonate best with you. Mine is 432 megahertz. Meditate, rest your mind, take a nap. Release stress, drink plenty of water, and understand that we have so much power within us, collectively and individually, and let's not forget to use it. One of those things is to smile. Another one of those things is to hug yourself. And when I say smile, it's an internal smile, always knowing that everything works itself out in one way or the other. I did want to share a song that I wrote, and it seems even more relevant. Do you have enough fight? Doom, doom, doom. Doom, 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 doom. Sitting under this blinding light, wondering if I got enough fight to keep on moving on when everything seems to be wrong. Is there something in the water or is it me? Seems like somebody's trying to stop me. Am I imagining things or is it real? Does anyone out there know how I feel? Somebody's watching me. Somebody trying to move in on my scene. Somebody trying to stop me from moving on my dreams. Somebody, somebody, do you have enough fight, to stay on the right path? Do you have enough guts inside to stay on the right path? Do you have what it takes? Or will you break? Do you have what it takes to live out your destiny? I won't give up, I won't give up, I won't give up. Don't you give up, don't you give up, don't you give up. I won't, I won't, I won't. Don't you give up, don't you give up. Don't. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Do you have enough fight? Do you have enough guts inside to stay on the right path? Do you have what it takes? I know you won't break. Do you have what it takes in you to stay on the right path, your path? I believe you do. I believe we all do. And that's why we're still here. And all we have to do is trust our own instincts. Trust that what God has given us is for us and that we can successfully navigate on into 2021. Smarter, stronger in faith. Collectively, our energy is growing and growing in leaps and bounds. And all of our desires can as well. Whatever those desires are. Whatever you want more of. Whatever you need more of. Wealth, health, peace, and prosperity. Be well.